does that even mean, Bowers game corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today, very excited checking out Maki Stack, Mask On, Hands On, Game On from Blue Orange. This is for ages 7+. It's for 2, 4, or 6 players. It'll take, I don't know, about 10 to 15 minutes to play. And in Maki Stack, what you're going to be doing is you are going to be wearing a blindfold some of the time and having someone else try and tell you how you were supposed to be making this sushi creation. Or you're going to be using chopsticks. Not literal chopstick, but actually one of your fingers will be a chopstick and one of your teammates' fingers will be a chopstick, and you're trying to race to create images that are on cards. What am I talking about? It's a very light, simple game, but is it good? Let's open it up and check it out. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Maki Stack. So first and foremost, we have a handy dandy rule sheet. It's just this one page, double-sided, full color. Should have you up and running in no time at all, and I can also teach you how to play the game right now because it is a very simple game. So in Maki Stack, what you're going to be doing is you are going to try to stack things up like they will appear on the picture, like so. Sometimes things will be upside down, sometimes things will be sideways, but you're going to be trying to stack these up as fast as you can. If you're the first team who's able to stack up 6 of these cards, or 6 of the images on these cards, then you will win the game. But it's not going to be that easy because there are restrictions that you're going to have to deal with as you're stacking these, and you'll actually get to see what they are on the back of the cards, and there's 2 different restrictions in the game. First one is that you are blindfolded. So one person is going to put on this nifty little blindfold right here, while the other person tells them what they're doing based on what is on the picture. Now, I do want to mention that this is a team game, 2, 4, or 6 players, which means that the other people that are at the table are also going to be trying to do the same thing, and it's a race to see who can do it first. So this one has one person blindfolded and the other person telling them, and this one is called the chopstick mode, where each player is going to be using one and only one finger to try and manipulate the objects to put them onto the structure and build the card as well. So let's go over how the game is played, and also there's certain restrictions that will happen if you're playing 2 players or 4 players or 6 players, because that's the only player counts you can play at. So first, the 2-player version of the game is very simple. Each player is going to have pretty much this stuff in front of them. You won't use a blindfold, which is a little bit of a bummer. So I would have this, my opponent would have this, and then we're just going to flip a card to the middle. And we ignore the back of the card, and we're all just doing chopsticks, where we would just be racing to stack things up like that. So 2-player version of the game, very simple, takes away the blindfold aspect of the game. Now, the 4-player version of the game is exactly what I explained to you a little bit earlier. So the 4-player version of the game, both players, this would be player 1, this would be player 2, they'd be trying to do what I just showed you. And likewise with the blindfold, now, I would have the blindfold on, and the other person would be saying, "All right, so grab the white sushi roll, or grab the it's like a rectangle. Grab the rectangle. No, and put it down. Oh no, first thing first, you gotta grab the circle, but then put the rectangle on top of it, but then and then you'd be trying to explain it as fast as you can. Now, that's it. You race to 6. Now, where it gets interesting is when you have 3 players. When you have 3 players, how this version of the game works is 2 players will be using one fingertip of pop, and then the other player, the last player, is going to be looking at this card and describing where things are supposed to be going. So they're kind of the ringleader there. Whereas with the blindfold, just 2 people are going to be talking to the person with the blindfold. So that is kind of lame. But you're going to race to see the first person who gets 6 cards. There are some advanced variants in here, but that, in a nutshell, is what you're going to get inside of Maki Stack. Alright then, Maki Stack from Blue Orange. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. If you're not a fan of dexterity games, this one's not going to be for you. Because that is really what it is. It's a very light, simple game, which will be a turn off to some people. It's just try and stack things up in a certain order as fast as you can. Sometimes you're blindfolded, sometimes you have a different restriction going on, but that's all the game is. And it can get repetitive. You're going to be doing the same things over and over and over again. I would say repetitive, especially with adults. This is the kind of game where adults, spoiler warning, are going to enjoy the game. It is a fun game to play with adults. I've had good success with this playing with adults, but you got to do it in short bursts, and you got to know the crowd, because if the crowd is not into the game, this game could fall flat. It's not fallen flat, because luckily I've been fortunate enough to be playing with the right people, but if you were not playing with the right people, it would fall flat and be like, this is dumb. Can we play a real game? Any other cons that I have with the game? I wish there was some more variety. You only get the chopsticks and you only get the mask. I wish there was just another, maybe a third challenge, because I like how they did it by putting it on the back of the card, so you can like literally see, oh, this is what we're doing this time, this is what we're doing next time. But I feel like they could have added a third type of cards, and then that would have spiced up the game a little bit more. Also, 2 players is a little bit lame. I mean, it's still a fun game. Don't get me wrong. I played it with the kids in my class, 2 players, and we still enjoyed the game. But I'm going to tell you this game is great, but at 2 players, it's just good. So I did want to specify that. Also, 6 players is fun, especially the blindfold one. Or the fingertip one, where one person's got the fingertip, the other person's got the fingertip, and the other person's trying to tell them. But with the blindfold, it is a little bit of a bummer that it's just essentially 2 people telling the person with the blindfold how to do. But that can be humorous because sometimes you'll be talking over each other. But still, I think 4 players is the sweet spot for this game. But 6 players, I still think it's a very, very fun game at 6 players. Any other comments that I have with the game? Nope. Moving on to the pros, I really like Maki Stack, and I think it's a great game. I definitely can recommend this game if you're looking at this as a game to play with kids or as a family weight game. Now, if you're looking at this to play as like a party game or something like that, I would say this is a try before you buy style game, and I would say it could work. It absolutely could work, and you could have a blast with this game in a party style setting. But I think the bread and butter for this game is going to be the family game market. So what I like about this game, first and foremost, fantastic components. The blindfolds work great. The box insert is spectacular. The pieces, the components, the cards, everything in this game is very well done. There's nothing that I can point to and say, those aren't the best components. I really like the components. Top-notch components for this one. Also, I like the artwork. Everything just pops. It's got good table appeal. It's got that laugh factor where there will be laughing in this game. People are going to be drawn to what's going on at the table, and they're going to watch for a second and be like, what is this? When we played this in my classroom, we had probably 7 or 8 people who just came around to watch and laugh and make fun of us almost because of how poorly we were doing, because it's really stinking difficult. Like, it doesn't seem that difficult. Like in the example in the middle part, I'm like, oh, you just do this and then you just do this. Well, when you're using your 2 fingers as the chopsticks, it's not hard at all, which is why the 2-player game is good and not great. But when you're doing it with someone else, it's very difficult. And when you're doing it with someone else and you can't even see the card in the 6-player version of the game, it's just, it's so frustrating because you're like, oh, wait. Sorry, guys, you got to turn that upside down. It's like, what? We just, and I like that. That being said, one more thing on the con side, if you have played with people who do get stressed out, who do not like really competitive racing style games, this is a racing style game, which will be a turn off for some people. It is just, can you do it faster than the other team? Which is unfortunate. But moving back on to the pros, I really like this game. It's going immediately into my classroom collection. I think I would keep it in my own personal collection as well to play with my kid when he gets a little bit older. But the kids had so much fun with this that easy recommendation. Also, another really cool aspect to this game is that if you go out and you buy 2 copies of this game, you can put them both together because the box insert, while being spectacular, the box is way bigger than it needs to be. You could easily fit 2 or 3 copies of this game in here. There's no reason that you couldn't make this an 8, 10, 12-player game with more copies of the game. And I think that would be really stinking cool. Like, you put the card in the middle, then you got maybe 4 or 5 or 6 teams spread out, and everybody's trying to do it. I think that would make the game just, so juicy. And there's not terribly too many games that you can just say, oh, just put another copy together and you can keep playing at higher player counts. But this is one of them. So in the end, Maki Stack for Blue Orange, great game. Highly recommended. Don't let it go under your radar if you play a lot of family games or you play with kids a good deal, or potentially as a party style game. I definitely could see this going over well. But once again, I think bread and butter is going to be the family game market. So that is Maki Stack from Blue Orange, one that I definitely recommend going into my collection. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, sushi, yay or nay? For me personally, I try like 6 or 7 times a year to get into sushi. Like, I want to get into sushi. I like the idea of sushi. It's so fancy, and I love fish. And everybody talks about how great sushi is, but you have to get good sushi. And I try sushi here, and sushi there, and sushi here, and sushi there, and I just can't get into it. It kills me. I want to be a part of the group, too, that likes sushi. I want to talk about, oh, man, I was actually Szechuan last night. I want to talk like that, but I can't, because it doesn't do it for me. But I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying. Let me know in the comments below. Sushi, yay or nay? And if it's a yay, tell me what I'm doing wrong. What do I need to eat? Maybe, yeah, I don't know. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.